Couch, hanging out with founder of Frog Pants LLC and it's cartoonist, podcast host, Scott Johnson. What's up, Scott?
Hey, it's good to be here. How are
you
guys?
doing?
I'm doing great.
Welcome
Having
to
a
the
great
Blizz couch.
Yeah, I didn't know it'd be so comfortable.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I mean, this was a huge addition for us. We were very excited last year when
this
this
is
happened.
Blizz couch #year 2.
Year 2.
How do you
that's
guys
right.
not just fall asleep sitting on these things?
It's
Well,
tough.
we can't even think about
All
that.
right.
'Cause you never know what'll happen. But, Scott, you and I met at BlizzCon. How many years ago now?
2014.
2014.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's 2 years ago. I can do math.
Yeah.
I can do math. That's when I take a nap on this couch. But we met a few years back, and now we actually work under the same banner with Bleacher Report.
Yeah.
I do the Daily Esports Show, and you do the Esports Podcast. How's that been?
Yeah, we started Rally Point not too long ago,
Yeah.
and we thought it'd be cool if there was a podcast that covered all of esports. Turns out Blizzard's got a big hand in the cookie jar of esports.
Yeah.
And so this is really kind of a mecca for that. And
Yeah.
talking to these guys, talking to the Heroes team about how excited they are about their new plans next year, seeing Overwatch take over this convention in such a massive way. It's been really incredible to watch.
Well, I love the podcast. Rally Point's the name of it. It's fantastic. You, Brian Huff, and Seven are killing it. So
Oh,
thank
thanks.
you for that.
Thank you.
So where did Frog Pants come from?
Oh, man.
I feel like I know the answer to this question.
You
But
might. I've told the story a lot, but where it really applies to this place, almost 11 years ago, I guess, started a little podcast called The Instance about World of Warcraft.
Yeah, baby.
And I thought, there are no shows that tell me what I want to hear, so I'm going to make one of my own.
That's the way the best ones were made.
That's right. That's why I did it. And
Yeah.
it just kind of kept growing from that. Frog Pants Studios bloomed, and we became many shows about many things. But my heart is still here beating in the chest of Blizzard. So it's just great to be here.
The
and talk.
Instance is another one of those just beloved podcasts. I listened to it for years before we had met, and I was really honored when you had asked me on. Like, do you ever get tired of talking about it? Because I don't, but I wonder, though, if you've done it for so long. How many episodes are you on now? for The
We're
Instance?
460-something
Wow.
now, which is
Jeez.
pretty good for a weekly. Not
Dang.
Yeah.
bad. If I count all the shows up, it's kind of a scary number. But if I think about just the Instance, it feels a little better to think about that and not this other messy thing. But the nice thing is, they keep making stuff I want to talk about.
Yeah.
So it's not ever a problem. I come here this week and I think, well, I kind of know what's going to happen. I know who's going to announce what. And then I'm wrong. In fact, I thought it was going to be this like a really quiet WoW thing. Legion's out. It's great. Everybody freaking loves it.
Yeah.
There's no question. And then they go ahead and blow our minds with 7.1 and 7.2 content and plans for the future that...
Yeah, and they're like, oh, and we're going to Argus.
Yeah.
Oh, that too.
Yeah,
Mic
and it's
drop.
the best content they've made really since Wrath of the Lich King. And
Yeah.
even then, I'm close to saying Legion's better than that.
Yeah,
I
it's
agree.
crazy. I had the same feeling where I was like, what are they going to be able to do? Legion was such a big lead story coming out of last year's BlizzCon. But then they get here and they start saying, the incremental patches.
Yeah.
So now they're like, not only are we going to give you more content, like Tuma Sargeras and the whole 9 yards, but we're going to give you more content faster.
Yeah.
And the Brawlers Guild is coming back. It's crazy.
I really like their focus this year on reminding us what they already promised with Legion, that this is all about our classes and their fantasy and your investment in your characters. And they not only deliver that in Legion, but today surprise us with class-specific mounts.
Yeah.
When you complete your flying quests, that won't have all of the kind of nitty-gritty we didn't like in Warlords. Like, there is a refinement happening. Ian and his team are just firing on all cylinders. And we're talking about an 11-year-old game, 12-year-old game.
Yep.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, the class
Absolutely.
mounts. I play mostly a Guardian tank right now, a Druid tank.
Yeah.
And so the new artifact form, that's basically a bear on steroids.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lord.
Like a werebear.
It is like a werebear.
Like a werebear,
It
yeah.
looks like that mount that I have, that
Yeah.
big like cave troll mount kind of a thing. Oh, I love it.
Well,
Yeah.
Scott, you're a cartoonist, and you're an incredible artist. How long have you been doing that for? When did you know you had talent?
Well, that's a funny thing. What I do now, I do all this full time. It's podcasting and it's illustration and art. A lot of Blizzard-inspired stuff, shockingly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And started when I was a little kid. I just knew it was something I wanted to do. Basically, if I could travel through time to my 8-year-old self and say, how would you like to do radio and draw all the time and make a living at
That's
it?
so cool.
And I would have the kid would have run off screaming, asking for his parents. But still, it's got a real dream come true. And if I'm totally honest, so much of it is connected to Blizzard.
Yeah.
Right?
And so much of it's connected to these games. They're not just hobbies for me. They're I don't know, they're almost like family in a weird way.
Yeah, we're all very fortunate to be able to have a career that allows us the opportunity to play these games and just continue doing what we enjoy. I mean, when I got called up last year to host this, they were like, have you heard of Blizzard?
You're like,
I was like, nah, I don't know, loosely. I like all those games that I put multiple hundreds of hours in. Yeah, I think I know Blizzard.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of our childhoods. It's a part of our adulthood. I fully intend to grow old playing their games. And
oh, yeah.
My kids have grown up with them. They love them. We are all in a place now where I don't know that Blizzard's ever been in a cooler spot.
It really hasn't. I mean, and you've been gaming forever. And Diablo, this is the 20th anniversary of Diablo. And I assume you've been playing since 1996.
Yeah, some have suggested that maybe I have a soul stone in my own chest.
Amazing. I love that. Well, you did a series recently with Back to the Future where you drew for, I think I remember, where you were trying to recall the series by just drawing it out. Do you think you could ever do one of those for Diablo?
Yeah, I've thought about it, actually. It's funny because somebody also suggested, hey, maybe video games would be a fun little plan for that sort of YouTube series that I'm working on. And I think there might be something to that, but I may not have to remember it because Diablo 1's being remade in Diablo 3.
Such a great announcement.
Oh my gosh,
so cool.
I about lost my mind. I played that Necromancer as well.
Yeah.
It's like they read my diary or something.
And
That's what Alex said after.
Dear Blizzard, I want to explode corpses. Signed, Scott.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time with that yesterday, and they nailed it. It's not even done. It's just basic abilities, no runes yet, and already I'm in love with it. So just when you thought you weren't going to get any more great Diablo content, here it comes.
Right, and they keep saying, you know, here's to 20 more years. So they have no intention of slowing that down whatsoever. So for you, you know, a little bit back to esports, because that is such a huge topic for your podcast, Rally Point. Seeing all of the esports news that's come out, what's the standout for you?
Oh, man. Two things surprised me. One was kind of a combined thing where you're seeing league construction and plans for 2017 and 2018 that are very specific, very player-focused, very talent-focused. It seems like Blizzard really wants to cultivate something, and they know it's going to take time, but they're willing to invest in it. That's a huge thing for players and viewers who are, want to see the commitment.
Yeah.
This is the land of, we almost created esports here. StarCraft is the granddaddy.
Yeah.
So it has so many things to learn from it, both good and bad, and I feel like they're implementing really smart things. But I think maybe what surprised me most was the announcement of Overwatch League.
Yeah.
How far-reaching that is. And then just how maniac this is. Like, that place is nuts.
Yeah.
They may as well just keep the at-capacity sign there all day.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, there were lines. Like,
the
lined
Overwatch
up,
arena
people just
is
waiting
crazy.
to get in, just outside of that. I mean, luckily we walked in a few times, but man, I just want to see that all over the country.
I do too. And I think you're going to see, I mean, what we need is a mainstreaming of esports.
Absolutely.
And it hasn't happened yet. Nobody knows what the secret sauce is going to be to get, my uncle watching it who could care less but loves football.
Yeah.
So we talk about that on the show a lot. I don't know what the final answer is, but Blizzard is certainly doing their part to help mainstream this stuff. These are characters and faces and stories that the world knows almost in kind of a Disney way.
Yeah.
Like it's that broad, and so if anyone can do it, they can do it.
It feels like even in this year, or in the last 2 years, I would say, since 2014, that Blizzard has done such a great job at honing in on their characters, who the heroes are, who their villains are, really defining that. Because in Warcraft for a little while, it kind of felt like we weren't quite sure where everything was. It's kind of one of those feelings where you never really felt like a hero could die. That NPC that was always kind of be there. But now this expansion comes and you're like, oh, where's Vol'jin? What?
Yeah, you're like, can everybody stop dying, please?
Yeah.
Yeah, they really set up a lot of stuff like that. I remember a certain High Mountain quest where, I don't want to give anything away, but a lot of Taurens saw their demise at a very sudden shocking way. And I remember going, all right, who's next? Like, we're going to lose everybody. But those guys established such a strong narrative from the beginning of this company through today. I was just talking to Chris Metzen the other day. We miss him, by the way, here.
Yes, we do.
But I'm also really happy for him. But he was talking about some of the inspiration and the places that these ideas come from. And it's such a raw, world-creating part of him and the great story team here at Blizzard And that just translates to great things like Pepe.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be popular. It's kind of a dumb idea. But somehow that's an immortal character. Exactly. And was this thing on the tree in my garrison.
Right.
Yeah.
So they do that like nobody's business. So take that all the way up to Illidan or whoever, and you realize nobody's doing this like they do it.
So true.
Good point.
Yeah, they've really honed everything in. Scott, thank you so much for coming to the Blizz Couch, and it's so good to see you in person instead of just hearing your voice all the time, but I always love it. You guys, right now, we are going to leave the couch and curl up next to the fireplace and play a game of Hearthstone.